Shocking facts about Scientology. L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard was originally a science fiction and fantasy writer who changed his career path and started writing self-help books instead. One of his books, Dianetics, was intended to be submitted for medical review as a way to heal yourself spiritually. However, the books were never backed by medical reviewers. Hubbard eventually turned his notes into doctrine and became the founder of the Church of Scientology. Lawsuits. Criticizing religion is fairly common all over the world. The Church of Scientology is incredibly sensitive about anything negative that is being said about the church, especially if anyone or a company calls it a cult. While most churches will just let the matter be when it comes to negative feedback, your negative comments may end up with you being sued by the Church of Scientology. This stems from Hubbard's criticism policy called Attack the Attacker. The church also owns the copyright and trademark for their logo and words and will take anyone to court who even simply quotes the church's doctrine. Brainwashing. The Church of Scientology has often been accused of brainwashing their church members and employees. Through their practice of Rehabilitation Project Force, the church has experienced a lot of backlash with accusations that is actually degrading participants and brainwashing them. Given that people who have joined the church seem to do a complete 180 after their initiation, it's no surprise that there are suspicions. Origin story. The origin of Scientology goes back to 75 million years to an evil alien dictator by the name of Xenu, who dealt with the alien population problem by capturing them and killing them with volcanoes and hydrogen bombs. But when the souls of these aliens, called Thetans, began to descend, Xenu captured them and implanted them with false memories of history and religion, such as images of Jesus Christ. Upon releasing the Thetans into the world, they attached themselves to humans, thus causing confusion, health issues, and mental problems. This is what the church believes in. No bad news and disconnection. The Church of Scientology actually has policies against negativity and complaining. Perhaps that is why Tom Cruise always seems so happy. If you are fond of being negative, especially about the church, then you are shipped off to rehabilitation treatment. Also, if you join the church and the rest of your family and friends aren't members, then you have to disconnect from them. This is a big reason why people think Scientology is a cult, as it encourages a disconnection of families and relationships. Sea Org. Scientology originally had their headquarters on a boat, with young girls wearing tank tops and hot pants. The ship was called the Apollo, and numerous meetings occurred on the vessel while sailing around the world. Hubbard was called the Commodore as well. This laid the foundation for the Sea Organization, who acts as a private navy for the church. Members can sign on to 1 billion-year memberships, meaning that they are members even after they die and reincarnate into someone else. Child spies. The church is heavily involved in child raising. Some members, specifically members of Sea Org, are not allowed to have children. The church dictates to families what they shall feed and teach their children and who the children are allowed to interact with. In turn, the church interrogates these children and forces them to tattle on their parents in the event they are not following church policy. Operation Snow White. The Church of Scientology is responsible for the largest infiltration of the United States government by domestic espionage in 1973. The church planted operatives inside the FBI, IRS, and 136 other government agencies for the purpose of digging up private information about those who opposed the church. This was done for the purpose of blackmailing and silencing those who spoke out against Scientology. No medication. The Church of Scientology believes that medical ailments from physical to mental are caused by Thetans attaching themselves to humans. Therefore, no medication or treatment is needed besides having e-meter sessions. The church heavily speaks out against the field of psychology and psychiatry and claims that taking any form of medication for mental issues is barbaric when the problems can be solved just with spiritual healing. Retaliation. The church's retaliation can be so bad that victims wish they would just sue them. The church doctrine allows for harassment and smear campaigns against former members and naysayers. Paulette Cooper was one such victim. She was an activist against the church and published a book about the corruption in Scientology. The church retaliated by harassing her and even having sent false bomb threats in her name, thus causing her to be arrested and sent to prison. Cooper was even driven to suicide, but she wasn't successful in her attempt.